Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of y'all. I was so excited this morning or this afternoon whenever I woke up from my nap and saw that the Supreme Court had ruled in favor for President Trump against these out of control district court judges, you know, uh, subverting every move he was making, and I wrote a Substack about that. I forgot all about all the other great stuff that the Supreme Court handed down today. So let's go ahead and share the screen. Okay, make sure we're sharing. Yes, we are. All right, let's get over here. A day of triumph for the Constitution and the MAGA movement. Friday, June 27th, 2025 will go down in history as a monumental victory for President Trump and the MAGA movement. In my last post, I was so thrilled about the Supreme Court's ruling reining in district court judges' overreach with nationwide injunctions that I completely forgot to mention the other incredible decisions handed down today. My excitement over that one victory, a massive win for President Trump and the MAGA movement, overshadowed the broader picture. Now I want to set the record straight. The court didn't just deliver one ruling, it handed down a series of decisions that together uphold constitutional principles and advance the values we fight for. Let's dive into these rulings and celebrate how they represent a constitutional right and a resounding triumph for MAGA. The nationwide injunction ruling, restoring balance and empowering the executive. First, let's revisit the ruling that got me so fired up. The Supreme Court limited the ability of federal district judges to issue nationwide injunctions. Those sweeping orders that have repeatedly stalled President Trump's bold agenda. For years, a single activist judge could grind executive actions to a halt, overriding the will of the people with a stroke of a pen. This decision changes that. It's a game changer for the separation of powers, ensuring the executive branch can operate without being crippled by judicial overreach. This isn't about one specific policy, like Trump's birthright citizenship order, which wasn't directly addressed here, but about the procedural victory. By staying the lower court's injunctions, the court has cleared a path for the administration to move forward. It's a win for democracy, for the Constitution, and for MAGA's mission to put America first, free from unelected judges' interference. As President Trump himself might say, is huge. A victory that strengthens the presidency and our movement for years to come, protecting our kids, upholding Texas's age verification law. Next up is a ruling that hits close to home for anyone who cares about family values. The Supreme Court upheld Texas's law requiring age verification for pornographic websites in a 6-3 decision. The court rejected free speech challenges, affirming that protecting minors from harmful online content is a legitimate priority. This is a huge win for parents, educators, and communities. It also aligns perfectly with the MAGA movement's commitment to safeguarding our youth. This decision also champions states' rights, letting Texas enact laws that reflect its values. It's a constitutional right in action. The power of states to protect their citizens unencumbered by federal overreach. For MAGA supporters, this is a clear step toward a safer, more family-friendly America. Parental rights and religious freedom, the Maryland school case. Then there's the ruling in Monmouth versus Taylor, where the Supreme Court allowed Maryland parents to opt their kids out of public school lessons featuring LGBTQ plus themes. This is a direct win for parental rights and religious freedom, two pillars of the MAGA movement. Parents, not bureaucrats, should decide what their children are taught, especially when it clashes with their faith and values. Constitutionally, This decision reinforces the First Amendment and the fundamental right of parents to direct their kids' upbringing. It's a precedent-setting victory that could empower families nationwide, resonating with MAGA's fight against overreach by progressive educators. This is about liberty, faith, and family. It's a massive win. This is going to lead to a whole bunch of other stuff, like the overreach of child services and all that, child protective services. Yeah. A mixed bag, preventive care and universal service fund. The court also issued a couple of rulings that might not scream MAGA at first glance, but they're worth noting. First, it's upheld the Affordable Care Act's mandate for free preventive care. While this might not align directly with our push to dismantle Obamacare, it respects the legislative process and existing law principles of constitutional governments. We can appreciate that. Second, the court allowed the FCC to keep operating its Universal Service Fund, which I hated, which supports telecom access in rural and low-income areas. This isn't a headline-grabbing MAGA priority, but it benefits many Trump-supporting communities that rely on these services. It's a practical win that lifts up forgotten Americans, something our movement has always championed. Yeah, but this Universal Service Fund, that's also funding PBS and all the propaganda machines. They could have separated it somehow. It would have been great. Keep serving the Trump's community, but get rid of funding public TV. Why this matters, a constitutional and MAGA triumph. So, what ties all this together? These rulings aren't just random wins. They're a constitutional right being restored and a victory lap for the MAGA movement. The nationwide injunction decision curbs judicial overreach, restoring the balance of power envisioned by our founders. The Texas and Maryland rulings protect kids, family, and faith, reflecting the conservative values at MAGA's core. Even the less obvious wins show a court respecting the rule of law and supporting all Americans. This day was a turning point. It's proof that the Supreme Court, bolstered by Trump's appointees, is delivering on the promise to uphold the Constitution and dismantle the obstacles to our agenda. For the MAGA movement, it's a moment to celebrate, a testament to our resilience and the leadership of President Trump. Now, I hated putting this one part in here, bolstered by Trump's appointees, because, yes, it was bolstered by his appointees, but, it makes me sound like, I don't want the Supreme Court is supposed to be neutral. In my personal opinion, I believe they voted correctly. All right. So that's it. Stop sharing. That's that. And let's see, that's only 8 minutes long. So we'll just go ahead and end this here. I think I'll fix myself a little something to eat. Just wanted to, like I said, I got so caught up with that one ruling, that I've been waiting on about the federal district court judges. I've been fighting at the bit for that, man. And whenever it finally came out, I was so excited that I forgot about all the other cases that were being ruled on, today. So it's just a little catch up. Everything that happened today out of the Supreme Court, and it was all good. So enjoy the weekend, y'all. Have a great, safe weekend. Be blessed. Thank you to my paid subscribers, and y'all have a great day.